Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Can be spotted here, and I don't know what's happening. Jazakumullah khairan. Need to remind you. First of all, we apologize for the late delay because of basically it's the first class. We're going to be starting tonight, inshallah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us with this. I will just start recording. Co-host, please just be with me. Jazakumullah khairan. I might miss something. Barakallah fikum. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa mawala. After negotiating with the brothers who are in Acton under the umbrella of Knowledge College, they have asked me to do a book of Aqidah. And then after negotiation, they have asked me to do the Usool As-Sunnah Imam Ahmad, which comprises not just the Aqidah, it's a Kitabu Manhaj, methodology. Because there are two things here, methodology and Aqidah. And the two are linked to one another. For the person, if his Aqidah, something wrong with it, it would result in the mistakes which are in the drifting of the manhaj, the methodology. And also if there is a manhaj which is something wrong with it, that it will be linked to something in the Aqidah. But when we say a person, his manhaj is sahih, usually it is the case, it is his Aqidah is sahihah. But not vice versa. When we say somebody is, mashallah, upon a proper Aqidah, that means his Aqidah in general is okay, but he could be belonging to a sect or a partisan that is attributing himself to them, or he is sympathizing with them, which would result into, as I said, a deviant manhaj, methodology. So this book, basically, Usool As-Sunnah, is a book of manhaj, more than it's a book of Aqidah, which contains, of course, the main principles that the person of Ahl-Sunnati need to believe in their Aqidah. Yes, I have explained this book a number of times. I've started with explanation of this book for, I think, maybe more than 10 years. And we started with I've done it with the people in Brixton, people of Luton. I've done it with the people of, I think it's St. Albans as well. But every time we do the book again, we do add things, because it depends upon first of all, the people who are attending the class, and also it depends upon the willingness of the students to go, how far they're going to go in explanation of the book. This book, I have taken it directly in classes, and we had a test into it from a sheikh called Sheikh Salim al-Hilali. At that time, he was our sheikh. And I was actually the head of the seminars. I was the manager of the seminars that taken place, which was seminar number 1 and seminar number 2. And I was the person who used to set the questions and answers for this book for the students to pass. And I would say that the explanation of Sheikh Salim, may Allah give him guidance, inshallah, on us, that it contains explanations that I would say comprises other books and more, because it does dive deeply into issues which are very important. We will talk about, inshallah, more about the book itself and who had done an explanation of it. I'm just doing a background where I'm coming from to explain this book. Definitely, Usool As-Sunnah is a great book, and the person who had made it or authored it, Imam Ahmad, is a great man. As we start with normally with the explaining of any book, we need to shed light upon the author himself, and then about the book itself, and then we'll start with the book, inshallah. First of all, we will go to the biography of Imam Ahmad. This biography, I've collected it from a number of books. If you want to refer to them. By the way, there is no book for the explanation of Usool Sunnah by Sheikh Salim al-Hilali. This is our lectures being taken in notes like that. So you might as well end up writing notes like this. Okay, so these are maybe 200 pages. If you want to be a student of knowledge, you need to write in order to understand and in order to teach, inshallah. So we go ahead. First of all, an explanation of the biography of Imam Ahmad rahimahullah, Imam As-Sunnah. Always when we say Imam Ahmad, he is Al-Imam As-Sunnah. He's Al-Imam Abu Abdullah. This is his kunya. So his son, apart from other sons, Abdullah. So he's Abu Abdullah. His name is Ahmad ibn Muhammad ibn Hanbal ibn Hilal al-Dhuhali al-Shaybani al-Marwazi thumma al-Baghdadi. Called al-Hanbali because attributing himself to his grandfather from his father's side, and that is Khalil al-Shaybani, also attributing himself to one of his grandfathers called Shayban. So al-Hanbali, the grandfather of his father, which is Hanbal, also al-Shaybani, which is in the name that we have mentioned. So we said Muhammad ibn Hanbal. So Ahmad ibn Muhammad ibn Hanbal is Hanbal Hanbali, ibn Hilal al-Dhuhali al-Shaybani. That's why he's called Shaybani. And Al-Imam Ahmad, he is lineage-wise linked to the son of Ismail. So he's from the Arabs. He's from the Arabs. That's how the Arabs attribute themselves. They could go as far as so many grandfathers, great-grandfathers. Imam Ahmad's biography had been authored and been written by so many historians, and they have all of them said the following, that may Allah have mercy upon him, his mother, she had got pregnant with him in a place called Maru, beyond the river, which is the areas which are in the south, in the north of Iraq. And his mother, she gave birth to him in Baghdad in the month of Rabi' al-Awwal, the year 164 after Hijrah. So we're talking always, we date ourselves with Hijri date. And his death was in the year 241 Hijrah, after he had lived for 77 years. Now, when he died, the number of people who had prayed upon him, they were almost to be said, there are more than 1 million. Even they said 100,000, 1,000, that's 100 million. Even not only that, the ones who prayed on the fences and outside, more than 60,000. That is beside the people who prayed onto him in the ships. That is why Imam Ahmad, who used to say against the people of the innovations, he said, "Baynana wa baynakum al-janaiz." The distinguishing mark between us and you, that means you, the people of innovations, and who is correct and who is wrong, is the day when somebody dies. Because at that time, if somebody from the Ahl Bid'ah, the innovators, die, very few people follow him, because nobody's. And if one of the people of Ahl Sunnah, they'll find so many people. But we cannot use this criterion, as our Sheikh used to say, in these days. We cannot say, for example, to the people of innovators, between us and you, the janaiz, the funeral, I mean, the number of people will turn up to the funeral. Because if we say that, we will be a loser. One of the people who so-called da'iyas, Allahu musta'an, these da'iyas are the ones who are actually bringing our religion so back. You know, we try to push the deen and people in education. You know, what we do in years, these people in one day, you know, make us to reverse. Wallahi. We would make us to reverse 100 years back. One of them is called Amr Khalid. Amr Khalid, Egyptian man, no beard. And in dunya, Allah al-Musta'an, he just got some stories and nice, just like we have lots of now YouTubers, Allah al-Musta'an. And they just nice in words and people to follow them. So he had said, this man, Amr Khalid, which he had deviated lots of people. And as one of the scholars, he said, this guy, he had made the da'wah for us hard. Wallahi, he made it for us hard to go and educate people the haqq. He said that the Pope is a good man, because if we look at his janazah, how many millions of people had prayed on him. And Imam Ahmad had said to the people of the narrators, "Baynana wa baynakum al-janazah." So he uses that same statement to say that, look, Imam Ahmad said that the people of good, only people of good will have lots of people to pray, onto him in janazah. Allahul Musta'an. He's talking about an non-Muslim here. So Imam Ahmad, father, he was the mayor of Sarkhas, and he was from the Da'wah al-Abbasiyah. He died in the year 179, which makes Imam Ahmad at the time 15 years old. Because remember, he was born in the year 164. And his father was only 30 years old when he died. So he was raised up, Imam Ahmad, in Baghdad, and his mother took over to bring him up. And from his youth, from his childhood, he was basically shown that he has got extraordinary understanding and memorization. The biographers, they say that because of his keenness to take the knowledge of hadith, and the knowledge of the hadith is the most unlubricated knowledge. It's not lubricated. All other knowledge has got lubrication. It's nice. Fiqh, you love it. But the knowledge of hadith and go into the narrations and the isnad and the narrators, it's dry knowledge, as Imam Sheikh Al-Albani used to say, that it's a dry knowledge. Very few people will go into it. Before Imam Al-Albani, rahmatullah alayhi, people will not go to this knowledge. They will leave it. It's just like for them it's German language. It's only Imam Al-Mujaddid, Sheikh Al-Albani, had revived this, just like it was at the time of Al-Imam Ibn Hajar Al-Asqalani and Al-Imam Al-Nawawi, and before them the Imams of the Ahadith like Imam Ahmad. But before Sheikh Al-Albani, there was a big gap. Is to be people of fiqh making an elaboration regarding a hadith and building upon it verdicts and fiqh and rules and verdicts, yet that hadith is to be unauthentic. Imam Ahmad, he took the knowledge of hadith when he was young. He used to go to the masjid very early. Even his mother, she was sympathizing regarding him, and she used to say to him to delay, okay, not to go as early until the people go, because she was scared on him until the light comes out. And some of those biographers had mentioned that Imam Ahmad, he did not just restrained himself or limited himself to seek the knowledge on the hands of the scholars of his locality or his city, which is Baghdad. No, he went to other cities. He went to Al-Kufa. Kufa is far away from, it's in the same, but it's far away from, remember, we don't have cars at that time. And he went to Al-Basra. He went to Mecca, traveled outside Iraq. He went to Al-Madinah. He went to Yemen. He went to Bilad Sham. He went to even beyond the river to Bilad Faris, Khurasan, Persia, which is the area of Iran. And then after he made that journey, he went back to Baghdad. And that's why Imam Shafi'i, his teacher, he saw that he is more knowledgeable with his student than Imam Shafi'i in the hadith. So he said, Imam Ahmad, he said him Ahmad, because his student, Ahmad, when you have the hadith, you got because he went to Egypt and all of this area. If you have hadith from Egypt, from Yemen, all of that, tell us about it, so they could really make fatwa according to it. So Imam Ahmad, rahmatullah alayhi, he was a traveler. And the person who's a student of knowledge needs to know that if he wants sincere knowledge, he has to travel. He needs to go to Mauritania, go to Somalia, he go to all the areas if they are safe as well. Go to Yemen, go to Jordan, go to Egypt, and seek knowledge from all these scholars. Okay. When he was 16 years old, he's already into the hadith faculty, into the hadith science. Subhanallah, 16 years old. And this is the year, which is when he was 16 years old, the year when one of the great scholars, Imam Malik ibn Anas, he had died. Also, Hamad ibn Zayd, he had died. Imam Ahmad, he had heard the knowledge from people who are from his shuyukh above him, and people who are equal to him, and people who are below him. his students. So he had heard from all of that. And the scholar, they said that Sheikh will not be a scholar unless he hears from all these 3 levels. From his shuyukh, the well-known scholars like Sufyan ibn Uyayna. Sufyan ibn Uyayna is a great scholar. Al-Qadi Yaqub, Abu Yusuf, the student of Imam Abu Hanifa. Ibrahim ibn Sa'd, these are the great scholars. Hushaym ibn Bashir and others, Abbad, and also he had heard from his Aqran, the ones who are equal to him in knowledge. For example, he heard from Qutayba ibn Sa'id, also from Ali ibn al-Madini, also from Abu Bakr ibn Abi Shaybah. Those are great scholars. They are, you could find them, they are the shuyukh of Imam Bukhari. He had heard from them as well. Al-Dhahabi in his Siyar, he said that Imam Ahmad, he had narrated in his Musnad from 280 plus. Subhanallah. He had narrated 280 plus. 280 from them. He had narrated from his students. Imam al-Bukhari is one of his students. Imam Bukhari narrated as well from him. So Imam al-Bukhari narrated from Imam Ahmad 1 hadith. So his students narrated from him. He narrated from his teachers, narrated from the ones who are equal to him, and also his students narrated from him. Bukhari 1 hadith. Imam Muslim and Abu Dawood, number of hadiths. Also his 2 sons, Salih and Abdullah, they narrated as well from him a hadith. His cousin, the one that the people confuse, he thinks is his grandfather, Hanbal ibn Ishaq. When we say Hanbal, means his cousin. It's not Hanbal, he's the grandfather of his. Also narrated from him. Also the ones who are equal to him, they have made hadith from him. So he took hadith from the ones who are equal, and the ones who are equal taken hadith from him. Like Yahya ibn Ma'in. Okay, they've taken hadith from him. Ali ibn al-Madini, Muhammad also al-Dhuhali, Muhammad ibn Yahya al-Dhuhali, and others. His shuyukh, also the one he taken from them, they taken from him as well. Like we know that Shafi'i, Abu Abdullah al-Shafi'i, Al-Imam Abu Abdullah al-Shafi'i, he did not even mention his name when he said Haddathani thiqah. The thiqah means the trustworthy, and he meant Imam Ahmad. Haddathani thiqah. Abd al-Razzaq, Sahib Musannaf, Al-Hasan ibn Musa, other scholars. Now, Al-Imam Abu Muhammad al-Khallal, his name is Al-Khallal, he's well known for that. He had made a treatise, a booklet, just to name the narrators who had taken from Imam Ahmad. Just a booklet for that. Now we come into the description of Imam Ahmad. Imam Ahmad, rahmatullahi alayhi, right? His description in terms of face-wise, he is dark, so he's not white, and he was beautiful. He used to dye his beard with the hinna. Now, when you say hinna, it doesn't mean color, because what jumps in the mind of the people is the color. No, hinna is a dye. It could be orange, it could be brown, it could be dark brown, it could be medium brown, could be, you see me? So it's a dye, and regardless what type of dye you're going to use, it's always permissible as long as it is to do with the colors of the hair. You can't dye your hair, for example, blue or purple or green, okay? But the colors allowed, the one which is not allowed as well is the black. You're not allowed to use the black. Other than that, you could use any of the other dye. It doesn't matter the henna. But so the henna, because he used to dye, and this is to cover his gray hair. Right. And he used to sit in a way which shows humbleness, cross-legged as well. He would put a imama on himself as well. They said as well about him that he was so clean. One of the scholars, he said, I've never seen a cleaner clothes than his clothes. He's always clean. Doesn't matter how new or old, but they're clean. And also he looks after his hindam, himself. So his clothes are looking nice. His hair looking, nice. And he smells nice. He's basically clean. He used to love the poor people, Imam Ahmad rahmatullah alayhi. And who used to as well keep away from the people of dunya, the ones who are rich, the ones who are kings, the ones who are. He used to be beautiful in his manners. Okay. smiling, lenient. He's not harsh. And also, he would love the person for the sake of Allah. He would hate the person for the sake of Allah. And also, he loves to whom he loves what he loves for himself. He loves to whom he loves what he loves for himself. So if he loves his brothers, which are the Muslims, he loves for them what he loves for himself. And he hates for them what he hates for himself. So there's no jealousy, there's no envy. But when it comes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inviolables, he will not compromise. He would not compromise. So he was a good neighbor as well. And when he's been harmed, he would be patient. All of this from his description. Now we come into his journeys. He made a journey to seek the hadith in Baghdad from the year 179 after Hijrah until the year 186. So you've got 7 years which he stayed in Baghdad seeking the hadith, and then he went to Basra, as we said. He went to Hijaz in Saudi Arabia, and he went to Yemen, he went to Kufa after that, and he wanted as well to go to Ar-Ray, which is the land in the north of Iraq, but he was out of wages. He couldn't really get enough money. Now it comes to his teaching. We'll come to, maybe we'll skip. I would go to the sayings of the scholars in him, what the scholars they say regarding him. Definitely, he is the man. When he's mentioned the Sunnah, he is the Imam of the Sunnah. He is the Imam who is against the bid'ah. He is the one who had stood firm in the mihna. Mihna is the trial. We're going to talk about that trial, inshallah. He is the Imam of Ahl al-Haqq. He is the Imam of the Firqa al-Najah, the saved sect. He is the Imam of the prevailing group, Al-Ta'if al-Mansura. He is the one who had followed the Sunnah. Al-Imam Ali ibn al-Madini, he's from his Aqran. So he said, and he is the Sheikh of Imam al-Ahmad and Sheikh al-Shafi'i as well, or Sheikh al-Bukhari. He said, verily, I have taken Imam Ahmad out of Imam Shafi'i and out of Imam al-Bukhari. He had taken Imam Ahmad, whom he is a student, and he is as well equal to his knowledge, between me and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What does that mean? If Imam Ahmad gives me fatwa, I will not care about any other person giving me another fatwa. So if I meet my Lord, he says, I would not really sort of be worried, regardless of what sort of things I've taken, because I've taken the fatwa of Imam Ahmad. And he said, Ahmad is our master, Sayyiduna. Hafidallahu Ahmad. May Allah preserve Ahmad for us. He is a hujjah. The hujjah of Allah. The hujjah of Allah, that means the established proof that Allah had, given to us. It's like a Quran. Hujjatu ala khalqih. That's why they say that if a person known to be the people of Sunnah, he will love Imam Ahmad. And from the signs of the people of Ahlul Bid'ah, he will hate Imam Ahmad. Ali ibn al-Madini, he said even more than that. He said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he had given the triumph to this deen, to Islam, with two people. And then he ended up saying with one person. Two people, not a third one. He said, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu stood firm in the battle of apostasy. After the death of the Prophet ﷺ, the Islamic state was fragile. Until Abu Bakr had affirmed it by sending the army led by Usama, which is the army was prepared already by the Prophet ﷺ, but he died. And Usama, he was just on the border. He's about to leave Medina. And even he did not witness the funeral, Usama. But as soon as the death took place, straight away he commanded for Usama to take the army and go. Even some of the companions said, Abu Bakr, how can you leave us? We're vulnerable now. He said, no, I will not stop an army. Already the Prophet ﷺ had dispatched. So that was the victory, because when he sent the army, all the surrounding tribe, they said, had it been that the Islamic State is strong, he would never, jeopardize the fate of the Islamic State by sending this army to go and make sure that nobody would rebel against them. So that is a success. So that Abu Bakr, he was firm in the apostasy war. And the second man, Imam Ahmad, in the trial. The trial here that he's going to talk about, it was to do with Quran being claimed to be not the word of Allah, but created by Allah. Okay, Allah made him affirmed. That means had it been for Abu Bakr, would have been kuffar, not Muslims. Had it been for Imam Ahmad, would have been Ahlul Bid'ah. That's what it means. Not only that, he said, not, I wouldn't say even two, he would say even, I would just say, had it been Allah had made Imam Ahmad, would have been misguided. They said, what about Abu Bakr? He said, well, Abu Bakr, he had people to help him. He had Umar ibn Khattab, he had Uthman, he had Ali, may Allah be pleased with all of them. Imam Ahmad, he was on his own. Nobody helped him. Everybody had adopted under the threat and the torture and the punishment the bid'ah saying that the Quran is created, except for Imam Ahmad. Stood his firm, his ground. And he said, I would die rather than I misguide all of this. So we are in debt to Imam Ahmad rahmatullah alayhi. Hilal ibn al-Ala, great scholar, he says Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had honored this ummah by 4 people in their time. Imam Ahmad, he stood firm in the trial, the mihnah. Had it been for Imam Ahmad, people would have disbelieved. Kafar al-nas. And also the Shafi'i, before Imam Ahmad, at his time, who had understanding in the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, otherwise the people would be misguided. Also Yahya ibn Ma'in, who had taken away the lying and the false ahadith. He was a critique for the hadith. Had it been for him, the people would have been taken the false ahadith. And Abu Ubaid al-Qasim ibn Salam, who had explained the odd words of the hadith. And had it been for those 4 people, then the people would have been deviated. Qutaybah ibn Sa'id, he said, Sufyan al-Thawri, when he died along with him the scrupulous, wara. And Shafi'i, when he died with him the sunan. And Imam Ahmad, when he died, the innovation came out and the innovators came out. So Imam Ahmad, he was the door against the innovators. So basically, not only that, he said, Qutaybah, Imam Ahmad, he had been like in this ummah as the prophethood. Look at that. It's just like at this time, it's like he's the only man, he's holding the haqq. Even some of the scholars told him, you are under pressure and you are under torture, you're being tortured, and you have the alibi to go and take the hadith of Ammar. Ammar ibn Yasir, he had given up and he said to the kuffar whatever they wanted him to say against the Prophet of Allah in Islam in order to basically save himself from the kill and to being killed. And he was even feeling guilty until the Prophet said, don't worry. And an ayah was revealed regarding him. إِلَّا مَنْ أُكْرِهَ وَقَلْبُهُ مُطْمَئِنٌ بِالْإِيمَانِ. Except for there's been person is being compelled, yet his heart is full of iman. Allah will give him an exemption. So the scholars, they told Imam Ahmad, what, you use that ayah? I mean, he said, no. What about hadith? Khabbab ibn Arat. The hadith, which is those people whom the Prophet said they used to be brought and be put in the pit. And then the soul will become and cut them in half. And the iron cone will take their flesh away from their bones, yet they will not leave their religion. So what about this hadith? So he's saying basically, not every person can take the stand of Ammar ibn Yasir. There are some people, they have to hold ground. Those are the ones who are especially, they are looked up to. They will be taken as what? A person to follow. The boy of Ashab al-Ukhdud, the trench was being dug in the fire and the king, he threw everybody. So that boy, he had sacrificed himself. He said to the king, you're going to kill me, you have to say in the name of the Lord of the boy. And he told him for the trick. He said that and people believed. And he was the first person to be killed for the sake of Allah, so that in order other people to embrace Islam. So Imam Ahmad said, if you are in a situation like this, then you must stand firm and hold ground. You cannot use the alibi of, oh, well, إِلَّا مَنْ أُكْرِهَ وَقَلْبُهُ, except for the one who's being compelled. You have to hold the ground. ماذا تفعلون بحديث خباب? What are you going to do with hadith Khabbab? جزاك الله خيرا يا إمام. بارك الله فيك. May Allah reward you, because you are the one who made us to stand firm, otherwise would have been finished. Okay, number of sayings here, we could really go into saying them. For example, we have Al-Imam Qutaybah, Al-Imam Abu Hatim. He said that if you see a man loves Imam Ahmad, then he's basically upon the Sunnah. He's a Sunnah person, subhanallah. The Imam Ishaq ibn Rahawayh said, Imam Ahmad, he is the Hujjah bain Allah وبين. That means he's the proof. He is the proof. He's the evidence of Allah Azza wa Jal, between Allah Azza wa Jal and the people. Allahu Akbar. So that means the people, they're going to be questioned on the day of resurrection. Didn't you see Imam Ahmad? Why didn't you follow him? He's established proof. Al-Imam al-Shafi'i, who's his teacher of Imam Ahmad, said, I have left Baghdad, and he went to Sham. He said, I left Baghdad, and I haven't left anyone who is more taqwa, more pious, more scrupulent, more faqih, understanding the knowledge, and more knowledgeable than Ahmad ibn Hanbal. So he said, I left Baghdad, and nobody's more knowledgeable than Imam Ahmad. Subhanallah. Other scholars said, they've never seen more hafiz to the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ than Imam Ahmad. One of the sayings of the scholars, they said as well, that all the sittings and the gatherings of Imam Ahmad was the gathering of akhirah. He talks about the akhirah, the hereafter. Nothing mentioned about the dunya. He said, I've never heard him talking about the dunya. Allahu Akbar. This reminds us as well, the Sheikh yesterday when he was talking about Sheikh Al-Albani, how he spends his time and all of that. He left his wife in the first month of marriage, and he went locking himself into the library and put in the lights and learning. And when she saw him, she said to him, this is the first days you just left me. He just laughed. He said, meaning that my book is more important than you are. Subhanallah. These are the people who had sold their dunya for the sake of the akhirah. One of the great scholars, he said, Imam Ibrahim al-Harbi. Ibrahim al-Harbi, he said, verily, I have seen Abu Abdullah, which is Imam Ahmad, rahmatullahi, and he said, like, it's Allah Azza wa Jal had gathered for him the knowledge of the first and the last. كأن الله جمع له علم الأولين وعلم الآخرين. Abu Ubayd al-Qasim ibn Salam, he said, I am gaining more religion by mentioning Imam Ahmad. Imagine, so when you say dhikr of Allah, so when I mention Imam Ahmad, I'm becoming more religious, closer to the deen. He said as well that I have never seen more knowledgeable into the Sunnah than Imam Ahmad. Yaqub al-Fasawi, he said, I have written from 1,000 sheikh, and I have not taken none of them to be my hujjah with Allah except for Imam Ahmad. He's taken from 1,000 sheikh, 1,000 teacher. طيب, as for Imam Ahmad warning against Ahl al-Bid'ah, many statements, because he used to be the one who used to warn against Ahl al-Bid'ah more than Imam Abu Hanifa or Imam Malik or Imam Shafi'i, more than Imam Sufyan al-Thawri or Sufyan al-Uyayna, more than all these Imams used to warn against the people who are Ahl al-Bid'ah. So, for example, one of the greatest scholars is called Al-Isfarayini. Al-Isfarayini, he said, I've heard Imam Ahmad, and he was asked, whom do you recommend for us to write when we are in Kufa to take knowledge from? So he said, take knowledge, and he had named some people like Hannad, Waqi', and he named some scholars, and he said, don't take knowledge from so and so, from the people of innovation, the people of whims and desire. Take the knowledge from the people of As-Sunnah. Subhanallah. Alaykum bis-Sunnah. He says, hold on to the Sunnah, and do not go into the kalam, people of the kalam. Always qala Allah, qala Rasul. Allah said, Prophet ﷺ, not qala fulan, kalam, people of the kalam. The people of innovation always use the kalam, philosophy. Now coming to the trial that took place, al-Mihna. Imam Ahmad rahmatullah alayhi, just like other scholars of Ahl Sunnah, they were being tested, but Imam Ahmad was tested the maximum. Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, they say that al-Iman qawlun wa amal. It comprises actions and sayings. قول اللسان وقول القلب وعمل اللسان وعمل القلب وعمل الجوارح والأركان. So it is the saying of the tongue, the saying of the heart, the action of the heart, and the action of the limbs. Okay. The saying of the tongue is La ilaha illallah. The saying of the heart, the belief. The action of the hearts which are the basis of the foundation of the action of the limbs. The action of the hearts is the love, the sincerity, the acceptance, the ikhlas, the sidq, the truthfulness, all of those. And the action of the limbs, which is the one that he does the prayers and all of those actions. And this iman goes up and down. Just like Allah, he said, زَادَتْهُمْ إِيمَانًا in the Quran, this has had increased their iman. If it accepts increase, then it will accept as well decrease. So there's not one lump, either it's gone or it is there. No. So the person's iman belief, the more he goes, the less sins he will do, the more good deeds he will do. And if it goes, the iman, if it goes less, drops down, the more sins you will do and less good deed you do. So it's vice versa. Your iman goes up, you will not fornicate, you will not drink alcohol, you will not do these bad sins. Your iman drops down, you start doing all sorts of sins. And we believe as Al-Sunnah wal Jumaadaa that the Quran is the word of Allah. From him it started and to him it will return. The Quran will be lifted. As the Prophet ﷺ said, there will be a night where the Quran will be taken away from everybody. Taken away. And when this group called Al-Mu'tazila, had emerged, and actually they had at a time a control onto the Khalifa. And this Khalifa, he was the 7th Khalifa from the Khulafa Bani Abbas. So we had Khilafah al-Rashida, and then Khilafah al-Umayyah, then Khilafah al-Abbasiyah. So this is like the Khilafat. For the Khilafah of al-Rashida ended up with Al-Hasan after Ali ibn Abi Talib. Then after that, Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan started the Khilafah al-Umayyah. And then after that, Khilafah al-Abbasiyah. From the 7th Khalifa of al-Abbas is called Al-Ma'mun. In that era of his, this is where the Mu'tazila, they were the confidant, the people who were around the Khalifa, and they have messed up his brain, made him to leave Ahl-Sunnah and adopt their ideologies. This fitna that took place at that time was known with al-mihna. So the word mihna always refers to the trial that took place to Imam Ahmad. And this mihna, Imam Ahmad had registered in the history and made a print, a stamp that it will be there for as long as you could say until the day of resurrection. And the summary of that mihna is as follows: that Al-Khalifa Al-Ma'mun, the 7th Khalifa of the Dawla Al-Abbasiyah, had been overwhelmed and surrounded by the Mu'tazila, and they made him to drift and deviate from the path of the haqq, and made him to fall into batil, in order to say Al-Quran is created. You know, when you say Al-Quran is created, Al-Quran is the word of Allah. So when you say created, that means Allah created his own words. Allah is creating his own attributes. So you're going to end up Allah creates himself. And when you say created, any created being or thing, it has to come to an end. That's one of the arguments that Imam Ahmad said, okay, if it's makhluq, okay, kabbartu alayhi arba'a. I'm going to make takbirat al-janazah on it because it's going to die. Quran is the word of Allah. It's not makhluq. Allah will take it away from the chest of the people at the end, but it's not created. When I say something, this is the saying is attributed to me. It's not a creation of me. It's my own saying, represent me. So there's a lots of implications when you say the Quran is created. That means you're going to end up Allah create his own self. He creates his own speech, he created his own hand, he created his own so on and so forth until he created himself. So this is a mu'taqad batil. This would negate the attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he had been affected by this ideology. This Khalifa is called Khalifa al-Ma'mun, the 7th Khalifa. Now, Imam al-Bayhaqi, he records for us that there was no one from the Khulafa of Bani Umayyah or the Khulafa of Bani al-Abbas except that he is on the madhab of the Salaf. So from the time of Muawiyah, all of them on the, yes, they're making a mistake, but still on the methodology of the Salaf, Salafi. Until Al-Ma'mun took over. This is when the Mu'tazila surrounded him and made him to say this bad saying, kufr saying, which is Quran is created. Remember, it's a kufr saying, but not every person who says is a kafir. You have to understand the difference. طيب, it was said that Khalifa al-Ma'mun, he was deviated because of the people around him. And that's as important. When you are in a very unhealthy environment, you're going to be affected. So don't you ever say that I'm immune. No, you're not immune. Don't put yourself into a situation where you're going to be vulnerable and affected by the bid'ah. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. In the year 218 Hijrah, 218 Hijrah, okay, this is when Al-Ma'mun, he had written a letter to his deputy, and he is the mayor of Baghdad. His name is Ishaq ibn Ibrahim ibn Mus'ab. He written him a letter, a message, basically to command him to call the people to adopt this statement, which is Quran is created. Look, they are actually testing the people. Not only that, when they want swap prisoners, or they're, for example, Muslim prisoners who are in the hands of the disbelievers, for the Imam Khalifa to bring them back, if they don't say Quran is makhluk, he will not bring them back. They have to adopt this ideology for him to be negotiating for the release from the enemies. Subhanallah. And Imam, the Wali, the mayor, which is Ishaq ibn Ibrahim ibn Mus'ab, he had to adhere to this. And basically, he had gathered around him some of the scholars of Al-Hadith and some of those judges and the people of knowledge. And he called them to say and adopt this saying. They refused, of course. So he started to threaten them and also to beat them up. Some of them said, okay, I'll adapt it. Okay. Most of them, all of them, they were compelled. Okay. Some of them had insisted, okay, that he will not adopt this. Those who the one insisted not to adopt this is people are four. Imam Ahmad rahmatullahi alayhi, he is the one who stood firm. Okay. So the ones who are the other three, actually some of them being killed, some of them even after a torture they had let go. So if I can mention the other ones were Imam Ahmad. Imam Ahmad said Ahmad ibn Muhammad is the first one. Second one, Muhammad ibn Nuh is Ibn Maymun. He is also a person who had stood firm, and he died on the way. He was being carried to go on being tortured by the Khalifa. He died on the way. Na'im ibn Hamad al-Khuza'i, and he has given up and he died in the prison. He was actually out under the beaten up. Abu Yaqub al-Buwaiti, this is the fourth one, and he died in the prison of al-Khalifa afterwards, al-Wathiq. But he had said and adopted al-Khalq al-Quran, the Quran is created. So we left with only Imam Ahmad. He's the one who was being carried. And while he was carried to al-Khalifa, because he did not really accept to say it, Imam Ahmad made a dua. He said, oh Lord, don't make me to see him. Don't make me to see him. So Allah Azza wa Jal passed death upon Al-Khalifa Al-Ma'mun before Imam Ahmad to reach him. Allah Azza wa Jal had basically fulfilled the dua of Imam Ahmad rahmatullahi alayhi. For that reason, he has been returned back. He was being carried to Al-Ma'mun, then he's been returned back. So Al-Khalifa died, okay, but still the test still going on, because we had after the Imam Al-Ma'mun, we had Al-Mu'tasim, and after Al-Mu'tasim we had the Wathiq, three Khalifas, okay, Al-Ma'mun, then Al-Mu'tasim, then Al-Wathiq. Those are the three. All of them adopted the same, which is Quran is to be created, until Al-Imam Al-Mutawakkil, the last one who had returned back to the Madhab al-Salaf. And Imam Ahmad was alive through those Khalifas, whether it's Imam Ma'mun or the Al-Mu'tasim or Al-Wathiq or Al-Mutawakkil. طيب. And he died in the era of the Imam Al-Mutawakkil. Al-Imam Ahmad rahmatullahi alayh, that regarding this basically the mihna, he had done lots of debates with those people in order to show that they are Ahl al-Bid'ah. For example, in this mihna and the patient of Imam Ahmad, let's mention some of these questions of those tests which is being given to those scholars and himself. And what was the response of Imam Ahmad? This person is called Ishaq. He is the leader of the bid'ah. May Allah curse him. He says to him, what do you say regarding the Quran? Imam Ahmad, he said, this is the word of Allah. He says to him, is it created? Is this created? Imam Ahmad, he said, no, this is the word of Allah. He said, he said, he didn't say no. He said, the word of Allah, and I will not add anything to it. It's the word of Allah. So the person is called Ishaq. What is the meaning that Allah is Sami' Basir, all hearing, all seeing? Imam Ahmad, he said, exactly as he described himself. So this is some of the questions that is this person would basically ask this question to the Khalifas, to the Imams, all right? And basically, if he doesn't answer the question, then he will take him to prison and beat him up. And Imam Ahmad answered the question, and basically he had stood firm onto the Sunnah. Allah Ta'ala A'lam. طيب. Now Imam Ahmad, he had died and left for us a lot of books. One of them, the great book, was called Muslim Imam Ahmad, the book of Hadith, which is well known to everybody, Muslim Imam Ahmad. And also he had written some books in order to refute the Jahmiyyah and the apostasy from the Jahmiyyah as well. And he had written as well Usool, As-Sunnah, which is a book that we're going to be talking about, inshallah, starting from 2 weeks' time, bi'idhnillah. And I'm not going to go into his mihna, because his mihna, if you want to read this book about it, that thick, just about the mihna and what he has done in the prison. But I just quote something that Imam Ahmad, when he was locked in, with some criminals there, like thieves. So he was worried at the beginning. So the thief, he said to him, why are you worried? He said, I'm scared I'm going to give up under the lashing, the flogging. So he said to him, the thief, don't worry. It's the first 2, 3, and then after you don't feel anything. So he made him calm. The criminal made Imam Ahmad to be calm. So it's only the first few, and then after that, you'll be okay. Your body becomes numbed. You're not going to feel them. طيب. I do have a class which is 7:30, so I need to be ready for that class as well. And I will take some questions for another 10 minutes, inshallah. So please, co-host. We're going to start, inshallah, in 2 weeks' time. We're going to start straight away. Just a bit of introduction of the book, 2, 3, 4 minutes, 4 minutes. I'm going to start with the book itself. You want to buy the book, you could buy this, Foundation of the Sunnah, so Imam Ahmad, in English. Okay, I'm going to divide them into points, point after point, inshallah, and talk about them and elaborate bi'idhnillah. Na'am ya Ahmad.
Jazakumullahu khairan, Shaykhana. Brothers and sisters, if you have a question for our Shaykh, you can raise your hand on the microphone. And if there are sisters who prefer to type their question, go ahead and send it to Questions Admin 1. The chat will be enabled for you now. Please go ahead, Ibn Ahmed.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, from my understanding right now, Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal was more of a muhaddith, and from what I can understand is muhaddith seem better than faqihs. So
okay, let me say to you something. First of all, saying this, it does not discredit or credit a person. Each person, he's thriving into his field. So, for example, if you look at Imam Shafi'i rahmatullah alayhi, the Imam of the fiqh, who had made the Usool, Al-Usool, in his booklet, which is called Al-Risala, Usool al-Fiqh. you could say Imam Ahmad is in need of such usool. Yes, Imam Ahmad is known to be more of a muhaddith, but he is faqih as well. It's the fiqh al-hanbali, it's called al-fiqh al-hanbali. But Imam Shafi'i rahmatullah alayhi used to confess, saying that you, Ahmad, more knowledgeable than us in hadith because you travel a lot. So the hadith that you get, yes, every muhaddith, most likely there will be faqih, but not every faqih is a muhaddith. That's right. That's a general statement. Not every faqih is a muhaddith, but every muhaddith has to have. But no way that the fiqh of a muhaddith will be matching the fiqh of a faqih who takes the hadith and rotates it like this, and he gets to you, mashallah, so many benefits. That was why the people at the time of Imam Ahmad and those, they used to, for example, speak and belittle the people of muhaddithin that they don't have fiqh. So Ibn al-Qas, one of the great scholars of the hadith, he said, okay, I'm going to show them something. They think that we are not faqih. So the hadith of Ya Aba Umayr Mada Fa'ala Nughayr, he made a booklet extracting from that hadith, Ya Aba Umayr Mada Fa'ala Nughayr, 60 benefits to show them that we are fuqaha as well, not just muhaddithi. Now,
Barakallahu feekum, Shaykhana. A sister wants to know, how do you deal with an iman drop?
how do you deal with an iman drop? I don't understand the question.
He's asking if her iman goes down, how should she?
If the iman goes down, then you make hasanat. And the iman goes down is only when there is the person is indulging into haram and sayyah. So the more you come to these classes, your iman is going to go up. Your iman definitely, while we are in this class, is going up. So the more you do from the sins, the more you come to the masjid, the more. So in lots of things, dhikr of Allah, Quran, reciting the Quran, coming to the Jama'ah prayer, coming to the classes. So all of that will raise the iman. So it's just not one thing. So the being in a good environment, okay. But don't make this a waswasa. Some of the people think it's a waswasa. Why is a drop of iman? Akhwana, this is natural. Natural. The person, goes up and down. So don't make this drop of the iman a hoax, what do you call it? Like a beast onto you. The iman drops and down. As long as you are dropped to the iman, still holding to the religion, you are, mashallah. Prophet ﷺ said, each person has a shirra, like a limit where he's got, where his level of iman. Either is, mashallah, the maximum, khalas. The maximum, he's going to be on good. And a minimum. لكل شرة فترة. Fatra means futur, it goes really down. So if you are in the down position, holding to the deen, alhamdulillah, akhi, you don't have to worry. No way you're going to be up all the way. No way. Whom you are a human being. You're not an angel. An angel is sinless. You are a sinning person. You only sin when your iman is gone down. And Allah Azza wa Jal telling you, if you don't sin, Allah will take you away and bring people who would sin and seek forgiveness. It doesn't mean that I have to sin. It means that you cannot avoid sinning. So don't make this like a haunt. That's a haunted by this. Everybody drops his iman up and down. And as long as you're not being snatched, alhamdulillah. So you come into this class, that's a sign, good sign, alhamdulillah. It's a good sign. But sometime after the class, you can do something bad. But in that hasan, companion, coming to the Prophet ﷺ, Messenger of Allah, my neighbor, lady, I hugged her, everything. I did everything except for fornication. He kissed her, he did everything. Okay? As a companion. Is that called drop of iman or not? So the Prophet, did you pray with us the Isha al-Akhirah, the last Isha? Yes. قال إن الحسنات يذهبن السيئات. Hasanat will remove the sayyat. Don't worry. If you do hasanah, Allah will remove. Because he's taib, it's called tawbah, it's called repentance to Allah Azza wa Jal. Now.
Barakallahu feekum, Shaykhana. Please go ahead, brother Faisal Ibrahim.
Sheikh, recently you talked a lot about agreed upon hadith. So to clarify, What is the agreed upon hadith? Is it the same Sahabi in both chains, or is it the exact chain from the Prophet, peace be upon him, to Imam Bukhari, and the same chain from the Prophet to Imam Muslim?
Agreed upon means the matan is agreed upon. Okay, it means the matan is agreed upon. So that means
So not the isnad, Sheikh.
the isnad Sheikh, because Imam Muslim, he's the student. You could say he's the student of Imam Bukhari. He could be the student of Imam Bukhari. So definitely there will be a different person, as long as you have the same muttafaq alayh. So when we say muttafaq alayh, it means, when we say muttafaq alayh, it means in the matan. It's not, it doesn't matter, as long as the matan.
Jazakallahu khairan, Sheikh.
Jazakumullahu khairan, Shaykhana. A sister is asking any advice to us on how to deal with waswasa in the purification.
The waswasa, the purification is a killer. So you have to, basically put a stop into it by reminding yourself that how long did the Prophet ﷺ, it took him, as in time-wise, to perform his wudu? 2 minutes, 3 minutes? So this person is spending about 50 minutes or 15 minutes or 20 minutes, and the usage of water is a lot, and he's going to be doing haram, he should be making a stop for this. So when the Prophet was asked regarding a person who is in the prayer, he thinks that he had invalidated his wudu. He said, don't go out until you hear it or you smell it. That means hear it, smell it, means you're 100% sure. So if you are 99% sure, no, don't leave. It has to be 100%. You've done it. You broke your wudu. So you are 100% you've done it, yes. But if you're not 100%, stay there, because you are 100% knowing that you are on wudu. And this shaitan is telling you you're not on wudu. Reminding you this, and by the way, there's something came out of you, and he knows that he's got waswasa. If you win one time, khalas, alhamdulillah. That's the whole thing. But you start, oh no, let me be more confident and go and make the wudu again, do the prayer again. This will never finish, and the shaitan will overcome you. Naam.
Ahsanallahu alaykum, Shaykhana. Please go ahead, Sister Zuhra.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
I just want to clarify, please. Does Islamic methodology mean doing everything according to the Sunnah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam?
Inshallah, when you come to the class, you understand the word methodology. Methodology, manhaj. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, shir'atan minhaja. He says, shir'atan minhaj. Minhaj means the frame, basically, is the frame. The frame which within it comes into the aqidah, the deen, all the Islam. That's the frame. So al-manhaj. So when we say al-manhaj, it's not just abiding to the Quran and the Sunnah, but you have to Quran and Sunnah, and also with the understanding of the Salaf. That's the manhaj. Because all the deviant sects, they believe in Quran and Sunnah. If they don't believe in Quran or they don't believe in Sunnah, they just believe in Quran, they're kuffar. So deviant sects, they believe in both Quran and Sunnah. So what is their deviance? It's in the frame, in the manhaj. Because they understood the Quran and the Sunnah with a different understanding from the understanding which was approved by the Prophet of Allah, and that is the understanding of the companions, as-Salaf, or as in the Hadith, 4 generations. The 4 generations. That's the understanding. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. But this book, inshallah, will solve your dilemma, and this book is about the manhaj. Well, I'm going to stop here, Ahmad, malish. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك وجزاكم الله خيرا وأحسن الله